This was more than a match. It was a battle of wills. Eala survived a brutal, drawn-out war against Lara Siegemund. It was a 3-hour and 20-minute ordeal where the rising star had to overcome Siegemund's entire playbook of dark arts. Some matches are won by skill. This one was won by sheer mental fortitude. Siegemund didn't just show up to play, she showed up to wage war. The endless stalling, the umpire confrontations, the perfectly timed breaks, Eala absorbed it all and simply dismantled her in 3 sets. So where's the line? Is this brilliant gamesmanship or just poor sportsmanship? Tell us what you think. But in the second set, Siegemund's bag of tricks ran empty. Alexandra's response was a statement. She clawed her way back, forcing a decider. Let's call this what it was, a bare-knuckle fight, not a tennis match. This was 3 hours of pure psychological warfare, with one player's mission being to disrupt, delay, and mentally break her opponent. And that opponent responded by taking the next 2 sets 6-3, 6-3, walking off the court with her composure forged in steel. After Siegemund grabbed the first set tiebreak, Eala roared back 6-3 and 6-3 to take the match. But that scoreline tells you nothing. It was pure chaos. Siegemund had openings in the final set, but Eala slammed the door. She seized her moments, and that was the decisive edge. You could see Siegemund's own frustration mounting with every missed opportunity. The match was a grueling marathon of endless deuce points and high-pressure serves for both athletes. All the while, Siegemund orchestrated her other game, the time-wasting, the manufactured drama, the constant agitation. She dragged the umpire into her performance, but Eala remained a fortress of calm, focused only on the next point. That mental toughness secured a victory that could have easily slipped away. From the opening shot, it was clear this was different. This was no ordinary match. Siegemund's plan had little to do with hitting winners and everything to do with controlling the clock. She didn't use tennis, she used chaos, constant pauses, complaints about the crowd. She manufactured arguments over phantom distractions and stretched her service routine into an uncomfortable eternity. It's a veteran's move to kill momentum. And the most maddening part of it, for a while it was working. In the first set, Eala was the sharper player, commanding the rallies and dictating the flow. She moved with power, showing zero rust, despite a grueling qualifying run leading into Miami. She was in control. Then the disruptions started to stack up. Each time Eala built a rhythm, something shattered it. A long pause, a chat with the ump, a complaint. Alone, these mean nothing. Together they create a friction that grinds you down. A set Eala should have owned was dragged into a tiebreak. And there, with the match's rhythm completely fractured, the contest was chaotic and disconnected. Siegemund found her edge and stole the set. That was the moment everything could have unraveled. Losing a set, you dominated. To a player whose sole purpose was to get under your skin is a test of character, not just technique. It tests your ability to see the real game being played and to adjust your mind, not just your tactics. Eala's response to losing that set was the single most defining moment of the entire afternoon, because then Siegemund left the court for 12 minutes, a 12-minute break after spending an hour destroying the match's flow. The timing was deliberate. It was a calculated shot meant to ice Eala and reset the battle entirely on Siegemund's terms. The goal was for Eala to return to a cold court against a fresh opponent who had just spent 12 minutes plotting a new attack. But what Eala did in those 12 minutes is what separates the great from the good. She did not pace, she did not crumble. There was no frustration, no complaining. She just sat, she reset, and she focused. She decided how the second set would unfold regardless of her opponent's games. When play resumed, Siegemund faced a different player. Not because her game changed, but because her mindset had been forged into something unbreakable. She came out with a piercing clarity that wasn't there before. She stopped reacting to the chaos and started playing through it. When Siegemund started her slow-motion serve, Eala waited patiently, then punished the return. When Siegemund argued with the official, Eala simply bounced the ball ready for war. She refused to operate on anyone else's schedule. The second set was 6-3, and it was a demolition. The tennis told the real story, one player executing a flawless game plan while the other's main weapon disruption had been neutralized. And it's critical to understand why it stopped working. Siegemund's tactics are designed to provoke an emotional reaction, frustration, anger, tightness. But the second a player refuses to engage psychologically and just plays the ball, those tactics become powerless. They are meant to get inside your head. If you refuse them entry, there's nothing left. Eala made that refusal crystal clear in the silence between the first and second sets. All of Siegemund's mental warfare built over an entire set vanished in an instant. The third set was a repeat performance, slowing the pace, challenging the umpire, and complaining about the crowd. But after 2 hours, the officials saw the game, and their patience had run out. The crowd knew what was up and turned on her, but Eala was a fortress, closing it out 6-3, just like the set before, ice cold and unbreakable. The marathon match stretched past 3 hours of pure psychological warfare from an opponent notorious for breaking the tour's best. Coco Gauff saw the same playbook at the US Open: the endless delays, the time violations, the feuds with the chair. The tactics are a known quantity, a documented pattern. The only thing different this time was the response. While Gauff got visibly rattled, fueling the drama, Eala was a stone wall after that first set. She just reset, competed, and finished a 3-hour slugfest with a deceptively clean score. The handshake told the final chapter. Siegemund offered a cold, quick tap and walked. No respect for the battle, no credit for Eala's performance. It was the raw frustration of a player whose master plan was executed perfectly, only to be shattered by an opponent with an unbreakable will. For Eala, this win meant more than just the round of 64. This is the Miami Open where her legend was born. Last year, a wild card ranked 140th, she stunned the world. This year, she's seated 31st with a bye. Now she owns centre court. The tournament director himself confirmed she's a main event because the fans demand it. She walks into this match with nothing to prove to anyone. She's already shown she belongs. She's already beaten the Titans on this very court. The question is no longer about her skill. It's whether any opponent's brand of pressure can finally crack her composure. Siegemund threw the ultimate test at her: delays, a badly timed break, and constant manufactured friction to create chaos. Eala weathered it all without flinching, delivering a 6-3, 6-3 knockout that looked routine despite the circus. That is the definition of mental toughness, not the press conference version, but the real thing. It's winning 2 straight sets, 6-3 after a 3-hour war, because a 20-year-old from the Philippines simply refused to be broken. The roar at the end was earned. Every single second of those 3 hours was packed into that one sound. All the patience, the focus, the refusal to take the bait, it all came pouring out when the fight was finally over. Eala advances. The Pinoy army in the crowd erupted as if she'd just hoisted the trophy. The centre court atmosphere lived up to the hype, but the road ahead is a gauntlet of killers. A potential third-round rematch with Swiatek looms, the match everyone wants. Beyond that, a murderer's row on the way to a possible final against the world #1. To survive any of those, she needs exactly the steel she showed against Siegemund. The power to stay locked in when the match gets dirty and your opponent is trying to tear you down. The tactics will differ, but the pressure is constant. Eala just proved she can absorb any attack and turn it into clean, punishing tennis. Siegemund played head games. Eala played tennis. Tennis won. 3 hours of gamesmanship and manufactured chaos. Eala weathered the storm, flipped a switch, and won 6-3, 6-3. If that mental fortitude doesn't make you a believer, hit like, subscribe, and drop your predictions below.